Incapacitated, needing help to breathe and surrounded by doctors in hazmat suits is perhaps the go-to image of those infected with coronavirus. Not so for Rebecca Frasure, who has COVID-19 as it's now known. Curiously, she looks just fine. She's in isolation in a Tokyo hospital after testing positive for the virus while on board the Diamond Princess cruise ship that's now docked in Yokohama and in lockdown for 14 days. Her husband's still stuck on board. Rebecca says she's shocked she has tested positive for the deadly virus, given how fit and well she feels.
Just can't believe it. Can't believe this is happening to you. I'm not one to freak out. So it's not like I broke down in tears or anything like that or screaming and yelling. I just took it for what it was and, come to the hospital and get well.
Did you feel unwell? Do you feel unwell?
No, I never really felt unwell. I had a little bit of a cough when they told me. And when I got here, I had a bit of a fever, but all of that has normalized and I have no symptoms.
So what's happening then? Are you being treated or?
No, there's no treatment for this unless you have some severe respiratory thing happening. But no, it's just isolation, quarantine here in the hospital, checking vitals and things of that nature.
So what's happening in terms of people who come into your room? Can you describe what it's like? How are they dressed? How do they treat you and deal with the situation?
Yeah, so it's doctors and nurses who come in. They have a plastic gown or apron covering their scrubs, a mask, a face shield, gloves. They do that every time they come in, and they're just checking vitals, temperature, lungs, blood pressure, heart rate. So, and they do that a few times a day.
And the people who say clean your room or bring your food?
Those are the nurses. Sorry, there's just somebody coming in to clean my room. She's fine.
And so the person coming in to clean your room, curious, Rebecca, are they dressed fully in the same kit or what?
Yes, they are.
So face mask, gloves, eyes covered?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So do you actually think you're sick?
I kind of don't. But I am going to be tested later on today again for the virus. It's a two-step process. So I'll be tested today and tomorrow, and I'll have to wait for those results.
So what is it like being there on your own? Because your husband, he's still on the boat, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's still on the ship, still waiting out his quarantine. He still tests negative, so that's good. I'd like it to stay that way. And yeah, just waiting until we can be reunited.
Is there any explanation? Have they given you any explanation as to why you may have it and he doesn't, given you are in such confined quarters?
No, pretty sure it's just luck of the draw. I'm just lucky like that, I guess.
So what happens after you are tested again? If that comes back negative, are you free to go home and your husband stays on the boat?
Right, so I am free to be discharged if those tests come back negative. What I'll do is I will stay here in the area until his quarantine is up, and then we will go home together.
And have you had any information about whether there are any issues with airlines carrying you, and also what happens when you touch down at home?
Yeah, so basically we've had correspondence from the U.S. Embassy that there won't be any issues with commercial flights. We can book those freely, and there won't be any additional quarantine once we return to the States.
So just to be clear, because I'm looking at you and you look perfectly healthy, not even a tickle in the throat, no coughing, no sneezing, nothing?
No, nope, I feel perfectly healthy. So it really came as quite a shock that I had this. I expected it to be way more severe, real bad cold or flu symptoms, but it wasn't. So, and it sounds like that is the case for the majority